12-gauge investigative. Let's jump in.
All right. Welcome to the late night show with 12 Gauge. My name is 12 Gauge, and this is 12 Gauge Investigative. You know, over the past week, there's been this story that's been floating around, and it's gotten a lot of attention on YouTube, but very little attention outside the state of Texas. As I've seen many newscasts presenting this crime, presenting this, and there's been a lot of TikTok activity that has also been causing division on this crime. If you don't know anything about this crime, a 17-year-old boy, Austin Metcalf, was fatally stabbed at a track meet on Wednesday by another teen, and Austin perished in the arms of his twin brother, Hunter. Well, what I can tell you is that this crime was tragic, unnecessary, and once I present this newscast, we're going to talk about this, and it's going to be sensitive because this type of stuff needs to be talked about without it becoming a racial issue. So are you ready? Are you ready to dive in? Are you ready to jump in on this? Well, let's do it.
Community gathered tonight in grief after the stabbing death of a teenager at a track meet.
Another teenager, a student at Frisco Centennial, is now charged with the murder. 17-year-old Austin Metcalf's twin brother was at the track with him. His family says he died in his brother's arms. Fox 4's Amelia Jones spoke with the victim's father and is live in Frisco tonight. Amelia.
Steve, Heather, 17-year-old Austin Metcalf had a bright future ahead of him. He was a leader on the football field and a scholar in the classroom. His dad told me he's holding on to memories and leaning deep on his faith as he tries to wrap his mind around this senseless tragedy.
He was going to turn out to be a great individual and impact this world with positivity.
17-year-old Austin Metcalf was voted MVP of the Frisco Memorial High School varsity football team. The linebacker held a near-perfect GPA and was in the National Honor Society.
He was on the right track. He was doing everything right. I was so proud.
Jeff Metcalf never imagined that his son's future would be cut short.
I'm still in shock.
Wednesday morning, Austin Metcalf was at a District 11 5A track meet at Kirkendall Stadium. Around 10 a.m., Frisco police say 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony stabbed Metcalf in the chest after some sort of fight. Jeff Metcalf says it was Austin's twin brother, Hunter Metcalf, who tried to save him.
And his brother was holding him, trying to hold the blood in, and he passed. My son watched his brother die in his arms.
And you know, I did a story on this the other morning, and for whatever reason, this story is not picking up a lot of traction. Is it because of the outcome? Is it because he's already deceased? Is it the racial component? Is it the affluency versus the have-nots? I want to know whether you watch this on replay or where you're watching it right now in the chat. What is your thought on why this story has not picked up any more steam than it has? I put Texas crime up here because I want people in the state to be able to see it, that I am covering it. But also, many more people in the U.S. need to see this type of story, because I believe that teenage violence has become too accepted, and there's a lot that could be done to curb it.
It's unclear how Anthony got the knife into the meat or what exactly led up to the fight. Anthony is now facing first-degree murder charges, and Jeff Metcalf
It was the best weekend ever.
Is only left with memories.
I was able to watch and be blessed so much. But having both my sons are amazing.
When Jeff Metcalf was diagnosed with cancer 9 years ago, his boys were his strength. Now cancer-free, it's his faith that's keeping him strong.
I mean, I've heard all kinds of feedback as far as, well, Austin was being raised by a single mother. What does that have anything to do with it? What did it have to do with the killer bringing in a knife to the track meet and killing this individual? And then you hear things such as, was he provoked? Was there issues? Was there anything that could have preceded this? Or was it just a random act of violence? Should you just slap the individual's hands and say, shame on you for killing somebody? I really would like to know. I wish there was more people in here talking about this, because this is really, in my opinion, more important than the topics that are being spoken on this platform tonight.
And when I kissed his forehead today, as his body was cold, I ran my fingers through his hair. I told him it's not goodbye. It's see you later. I'll join you at some point too, son. You just beat me to this place.
Wednesday night, the family's church opened its doors for the community to gather for a prayer vigil to honor a young man whose life touched so many.
But I know he's with the Lord. And I take comfort and peace in that.
In our conversation, Jeff mentioned that he hopes his son's death brings changes to security so no other parent has to go through this. Memorial High School will honor Austin tomorrow during second period, and counselors will be available for any students or staff who need it.
Well, I want to also get another perspective. I posted this the other day because I like the reaction of these individuals, because they're able to see a lot deeper than the surface, a lot deeper than the core. You know, a lot of YouTubers don't want to cover controversial things because they don't want to lose subs because of it. But you know what? When it comes to true crime, real is real. And you can't sidestep those issues just because you're scared that you might lose subs. Let's see what these individuals comment.
The Frisco Memorial High School community gathered tonight in grief after the stabbing death of a teenager at a track meet.
Another teenager, a student at Frisco Centennial, is now charged with the murder. 17-year-old Austin Metcalf's twin brother was at the track with him. His family says he died in his brother's arms. Fox 4's Amelia Jones spoke with the victim's father and is live in Frisco tonight. Amelia.
Steve, Heather, 17-year-old Austin Metcalf had a bright future ahead of him. He was a leader on the football field and a scholar in the classroom. His dad told me he's holding on to memories and leaning deep on his faith as he tries to wrap his mind around this senseless tragedy.
He was going to turn out to be a great individual and impact this world with positivity.
17-year-old Austin Metcalf was voted MVP of the Frisco Memorial High School varsity football team. The linebacker held a near-perfect GPA and was in the National Honor Society.
He was on the right track. He was doing everything right. I was so proud.
Jeff Metcalf never imagined that his son's future would be cut short.
I'm still in shock.
Wednesday morning, Austin Metcalf was at a District 11 5A track meet at Kirkendall Stadium. Around 10 a.m., Frisco police say 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony stabbed Metcalf in the chest after some sort of fight. Jeff Metcalf says it was Austin's twin brother, Hunter Metcalf, who tried to save him.
And his brother was holding him, trying to hold the blood in, and he passed. My son watched his brother die in his arms.
It's unclear how Anthony got the knife into the meat or what exactly led up to the fight. Anthony is now facing first-degree murder charges, and Jeff Metcalf
It was the best weekend ever.
Is only left with memories.
I was able to watch and be blessed so much. But having both my sons are amazing.
When Jeff Metcalf was diagnosed with cancer 9 years ago, his boys were his strength. Now cancer-free, it's his faith that's keeping him strong.
And when I kissed his forehead today, as his body was cold, I ran my fingers through his hair. I told him it's not goodbye. It's see you later. I'll join you at some point too, son. You just beat me to this place.
Wednesday night, the family's church opened its doors for the community to gather for a prayer vigil to honor a young man whose life touched so many.
But I know he's with the Lord. And I take comfort and peace in that.
In our conversation, Jeff mentioned that he hopes his son's death brings changes to security so no other parent has to go through this. Memorial High School will honor Austin tomorrow during second period, and counselors will be available for any students or staff.
I don't lie, this is absolutely makes my blood boil.
Nah,
Honestly,
I almost shed a tear.
No, dead ass.
This
like
shit crazy.
this like put that kid, Carmelo, put him under the jail. I don't want him to. I want his life to be over. Personally, personally, watching this, I don't think that he should be given any grace.
The story here is
so allegedly this will happen.
Yeah, that's what I was going to tell him.
He pulls up. The brothers pull up. They tell Carmelo move. He says no, make me. So the brother who got stabbed picked his backpack up to move his backpack, and Carmelo stabbed him in the chest. All because they say that Carmelo was in the wrong place. He stabbed someone in the chest.
In the most recent conversations is that Carmelo stood in shock after he stabbed him, and he said, yes, I did it. But he was also asking the police, it's self-defense, right? It's self-defense? No, he was charged with first-degree murder. So it's tragic in so many ways, you know. It's like this individual said, it makes your blood boil. It makes your blood boil.
Yes.
Were they on the same
shit
team?
is that? No, they went to two different high schools.
It looked like it was under the tent.
That's what they kept showing.
That was just where it happened, like in the stands at the track meet. They didn't go to the same school. One of them went to Memorial. One of them went to Centennial.
See, yeah, that's weird. They keep showing the tent. They got the tape around it.
Yeah, just showing where it happened.
He was in. It seems like he was in his team's area.
They were in the team's area, correct. The other kid was in the wrong place. They said, you got to move. He said, make me move. He picked his backpack up to make a move. He stabbed him in the chest.
Under his team area. That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, so this is
I mean, I've never ran track, but you know what? You're not going to go into the opposing team's area for anything. I mean, for anything. You know, that's why they're separated. That's why they're, segregated to certain areas. I mean, I've never ran track. I have some people that I know that have ran track, and they've all told me that, you designate certain areas for your team, and it's just a given that everybody knows this is where you sit, this is where they sit, this is where allowed, and this is where they're not allowed. Thank you, Bianca, for being here. Rondi, thank you for being here.
Something Memorial.
Like, we're not
Frisco
really want to
Memorial
say.
and Frisco
I
Centennial.
truly can't say.
Yeah, don't say
on
it,
this
bro.
channel, bro.
I'm not gonna lie, like I could really go hard right now,
For real.
Insanely hard.
but I promise you, my black card would be revoked. But
For
unfortunately,
sure but
I want no mercy for that kid.
I'm
None.
looking at like a brother's standpoint because I have a brother, and the fact that the twin brother went
I have a
through
twin.
that, yeah, that's crazy.
I know what it's like. You go everywhere with that
sport
person.
event, like they rode the bus to the track meet. Like it's just insane. This kid went throughout the school day.
Thank you so much.
And for something like this to happen,
Listen,
like altercations happen all the time.
Listen,
small arguments.
See, and that's the first that I've heard of that, Bianca, but that's interesting to know. This is what she put. He was never supposed to be there. He skipped class. See, I'm still investigating on this story, but, up to this point, it just sounds like he was up to no good. I mean, who brings a knife to a track meet? Why would you have a knife in your backpack? Okay. Let me know, and I
Just
will.
fought.
Lead it to this.
Yeah,
I will play
bro.
that
Stab
channel.
someone.
You could have
I'm
just put your
sorry.
hands up.
I'm sorry.
Bro. That's
Unfortunately,
crazy, bro.
his life needs to be over, and there's just
Oh, yeah. It has
there's
to be.
no other way to put
It
it.
truly
This is
has to be.
disgusting. I don't feel nothing for this person. When I look at his mugshot, I feel absolute disgust and rage. Like what a worthless. You know, I'm not even finna go hard, man.
No. He's
But
worthless,
truly,
bro.
what a worthless individual.
No.
Like
This is
what
insane,
type of
bro.
person do you have to be to stab someone at a track meet?
The track meet.
Yeah.
is
Like, why are
crazy.
you a student at a track meet with a knife? Like in
Yeah.
high
Okay, Bianca, I know that channel. I'm a sub to it. I'll check it out after this one. Thank you so much.
That's the
school,
problem.
in high school,
Who
I would
has a
have,
knife?
who's coming to a track meet to fight? Track meet feel like a field trip.
It seems like this kid came there to look for an altercation, to be that close to another team's tent, and to stab someone over a little, like.
Is it more to
altercation
the
or
story? We don't know.
As men who ran track in high school,
This
we
his
ran
home.
track at every level.
This is home a little bit.
This is disgusting
Like,
to
I've
me. This
been
is
to
home for me for a lot of reasons. I've been to
thousands
hundreds of track meets.
Yeah.
I have a twin sister, not a brother. I have a brother, but I have a twin sister. So I understand what it's like to have a twin that goes everywhere with you.
That's crazy.
Like
bro.
me going somewhere when
You
I was
played
growing
football
up
too.
and my
Pissed
sister
off,
being there was
bro.
completely normal. That's
Like-
what I would expect her to be there. So the
Look.
fact that just a routine day with your other half
I want to cry, bro.
and someone kills them
What
Hey,
I
bro.
truly want
At
to
a
say,
track meet,
guys,
bro.
at a track meet is
is
crazy.
so insane.
It's so crazy.
But
I
I'm
have so much.
trying
I have
to
so
hold.
much to say.
I'm trying. I have so much to say.
I'm
Like, I'm gonna
just
be
keep it 100, bro. I want this kid's life to be over. I want him to slap the book on him. I want them to bury his ass under the jail. I don't want to see no mercy. I don't want to see people come out and defend him.
Oh, you can't.
You know,
There's no defending.
it's gonna
this.
be
Black
somebody.
people ain't say nothing about
No,
this.
it's gonna be somebody that comes out on here
Oh,
and
that would
tries
be
to
bad.
justify this. Oh, why do you care so much? He's white. It's freaking bullshit. Like, it's freaking BS.
I'm gonna leave it at that. That's kind of what I want to say.
Hey, bro,
if
Scott
you know,
Adams,
you know.
Scott Adams. When I first saw that video, I said, "Wow," but now I completely
bro.
understand
Like,
why
I'm
he
gonna
would
be
feel that
real.
way.
Like if black people feel any type of way about how white people act around black people, even at event like
Hey, bro.
little events like this, just because of shit like this, they have all rights.
I'm gonna keep it 100. I've reached the age where when I see a group of teens, specifically black teens, when I see a big group of them, I don't feel safe. I went to the rodeo a couple weeks ago, y'all, Houston rodeo. I'm out there at night. I was actually looking for my friend, so I was by myself for a little bit. I'm looking for my friend, and I remember I'm looking around.
See, listen to what he's about to say. And this is why it is not a race issue. You might feel it is, and you might be one of those people that say, well, he felt bullied. Maybe he called him a name. Maybe he did something to provoke him. Does anything provoke another person enough to stab them in the heart and kill them? Anything. Words, you're going to push each other, you're going to scuffle, you're going to do whatever, walk away, whatever. But this other child chose to pull out a weapon and stabbed and killed him.
Bunch of teens everywhere.
Y'all seen that?
Black teens everywhere. I was like, I remember I text y'all. I say, hey, it's not.
Did you see
safe
the
out
viral
here.
video of that black guy getting into it with that white guy, the young black guy getting into it with that older white guy at the rodeo? Yeah, it went pretty viral on TikTok. It was bad.
Hey, bro,
They was like finna fight.
We have a culture issue within our culture, and something needs to change. These young men, I personally feel like in order for us to see change, we need to see these young men get hit with the book of the law, the fullest book of the law. And I truly feel nothing for this young man. There's nothing anyone can say to
I'm
me
shaking, bro.
to
Like, this is
justify
crazy,
his
bro.
actions, to make me feel anything for him. But as a Christian,
It's hard having that type of mentality where you say, okay, the youth are lost and you need to be scared as an older individual of a group of any color teenagers, because for whatever reason they don't have any value for human life anymore. They don't even value their own lives, you know? And yeah, the other twin said he had never met this dude in his life. They don't have any value for human life or boundaries or any kind of accountability. And exactly this, what these three are saying right here.
A 4.0,
I'm gonna try to be like
man.
the young man's father and forgive him.
A 4.0.
But why?
Oh yeah, nah.
I just
bro,
want to know: is there extra to the story? I know it's not right, but is there some extra to it? Because it's so unbelievable.
Man.
Like, why would you do this at a whole track meet? It's so
Yeah,
much going on.
it's
so
very
much.
unbelievable.
He had
But
to die by his respect, bro.
like when you told me about this, I said, I truly said, "Are niggas retarded?" I genuinely said that.
That was eating last
he has
night.
to be.
When we was eating last night,
It genuinely has to be something wrong with this kid. He has to be. Like that's the only thing to it.
We'll see
like
that.
I don't even know the worst of the worst people that would do this. That's why I'm genuinely confused.
I mean, we all grew
Stab
up
him,
in
bro.
decent areas for the most part, and I've never met anyone who would go
To attract me.
to a track meet with this type of intent, who would come to a track meet and be like, at track meet, this is what happens. A team.
That's a good word right there. Intent. The intent was to go to that track meet, like you're saying, with a weapon to harm somebody. The motive was he used the opportunity to kill another person.
You claim an area and you set up your tent. That's your area for your whole squad.
You can be around it no matter.
Yeah, and all the teams. This is just something. This is a general thing that's understood in track at any level: high school, college, middle school, summer track, AAU. All of it's understood. So the fact that he was in the wrong place and someone told him to move, all you got to do is get your ass up and move, bro. Like that's just understood. This is track etiquette. So the fact that you decide to take someone's life because they say move. Bro, he had to have been trying to be Mr. Tough Guy, bro.
I don't know.
That's why I said, is
It
there
is what
more
it
to
is.
the story, bro? Because like,
Man,
what
no,
would
man.
just make you just have a
Doesn't matter.
knife on
I'ma keep it
deck,
100,
bro?
though.
Like
It don't matter,
it
though.
don't matter. He tweaked down and took somebody's life, but like, why would you just have a knife on? Like,
I
on
don't know.
deck? Like,
He's the R word.
Obviously a troublemaker. He's obviously a trouble.
Yeah, that's for sure what it is.
But
But
walk
shit
around
crazy.
with a knife.
And
I'm
then
not
why
gonna
he
lie.
didn't just fight him, bro? You had a track.
What I really want to say, bro,
It's crazy,
is like,
he could have used anything else.
if this would have happened to be like, especially my brother, like if it was my teammate, it would have been very, very high repercussions. But if it was my brother, bro, I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not gonna lie.
I can't say it on here. I can't say
The
this
fa- the
physically.
fam- the-
what would happen on YouTube?
What's that? Nah, I'm pulling up that Uncle Ruckus in court meme. Me personally.
Nah,
you know
bro,
which meme
like-
I'm talking about? Y'all know which meme I'm talking about?
Guilty. Yeah, I know.
Like, I
I got the right here. That paraphrase it.
That's crazy.
Go
I
look
would
it up.
turn into the highest
That's how I'm
form
feeling.
of nigga
That's how I
at
would
that
feel.
moment. Like
That's
it
crazy.
would actually, like, I'm gonna be real. I would probably be in jail to myself for what I would do.
You know, and they're talking real talk right here. It's not acting, it's not, you know, I believe they are really reacting this way wholeheartedly. That's how a lot of America should be reacting. It should be something that is not tolerated anymore. Whether it be guns, whether it be knives, whether it be all this random acts of violence, people jumping people. I mean, all this stuff. At what point is enough enough?
To anybody that was near him,
You said
Wow.
near him.
I'm talking about everybody getting it on soul.
Wow.
Well, if he does your
I
brother,
might let the coach get it.
Wow.
I'm going to jail if
Wow.
that happened to my brother. Oh God,
Wow.
mama might get it. Everybody get it.
Damn.
My brother just died in front of me at a track meet. He was gonna go to college.
This kid had a bright future. MVP at a Texas high school with a 4.0 GPA. That boy going to college. He going to play
Like, bro,
ball.
on me, like I might would have took mama whip, would have been back, and I would have let it go with the police round. Oh God, he wouldn't have
So
left.
you gonna give your life
I
up?
would have gave my life up. I would have crashed out like that. I'm sorry. Okay, I shouldn't be. Okay, guys. Let's get
Okay,
to
you
this.
shouldn't think like
Yeah,
that.
but I ain't gonna like the brother. I don't.
Because
What
like,
he
think
gonna do?
about
His
it.
brothers got stabbed.
I know,
You gonna
bro.
go fight? You gonna
Hell
save your
no.
brother?
He gotta say that. His brother. I mean, he couldn't do nothing, bro. We can all say that we would do anything, guys.
But you
But, like,
can't. I feel like that's the dumbest way.
It is.
Because
Oh, but I would have crashed out.
You know, one thing about the kids in schools these days, and you say, well, how do I know? Because I see the troubled kids that come from these schools these days. And what they're talking about, it is on point. These kids today, they are not able to have any kind of recourse to their action. They always blame other people. They always have excuses why they're doing something. They see acceptance in, well, if I can make an excuse about it, then it justifies the means. And then there's the other side that says it's the parents' fault. It's the parents' fault. The parents weren't at the track meet. It doesn't matter how he grew up. At that point in life, you know right from wrong. All these excuses, all these things that are going on in this case, this individual that decided to stab this other individual for no reason other than whatever he was thinking in his mind did not justify killing another person. You cannot convince me either that anything is going to add up to that individual losing his life. You can't.
No, bro, my brother. If you would have stabbed my teammate, I probably would have. I wouldn't have threw my life away. But my brother, I probably would have.
If this man dad, if this man dad was able to handle that, bro, you should be able to handle that.
I'm gonna keep it 100, bro. His dad is a very strong man because the way he went up there, he had so much positivity and was looking on the bright side. I promise you, if that was my child, I would not coming on TV saying anything.
Hey, God, I would have been on a different type of timing for a long time.
I promise you,
for a long time.
What I would have said about this young man.
Oh yeah.
I promise you.
It would have been bad.
Just the way I feel, and I'm not even affected by this. I'm a bystander. The anger I feel looking at this story, looking at his mugshot, seeing his dumb, stupid face, pisses me off. I have no. No, bro.
Hey, Trump, put laws back.
All right,
hold on. That was hit up, nigga.
Doesn't
calm
make any
down.
sense.
You tripping, bro?
I'm sorry.
You loaded, bro.
All right, but hey,
you loaded. We get hit up, nigga.
Hey, I'm sorry.
We gotta be logical with our anger.
Hey, bro, I don't. If we get segregated, we're gonna be with people like him.
Loaded ass.
That sounds way worse. That sounds way worse.
He's tripping.
I mean, hey, it's already.
I'm just disgusted by this whole situation.
I can't believe that shit, bro.
And this is a pure emotional reaction because I'm looking at this and I'm communicating. I'm communicating from how I feel off just taking all this in. And I'm not happy. It makes me angry.
No,
it makes me freaking mad.
I'm shaking, bro. This is bad, bro.
This is so bad.
Just doesn't make any sense. I mean, that's just because the kid was mad, my son is not here anymore, and I don't understand it.
He's a good kid.
And there was pictures of his social media where he was holding up an AK, he was flipping off the camera, just trying to be that thug, just trying to be the toughest kid in the room. The toughest kid in the room. And that is another thing about these kids today. They all start drama on these social media sites such as Snapchat, Instagram. They start this drama on there. They go live. They say all this stuff. And then it causes a retaliated purpose from another person. And before you know it, you have incidences at school, fights, shootings, you name it. And for what? For what? Kids can't take an L anymore. And if you're old enough to know what that means, then I hope that you understand that. That means that they can't take a loss. They will not allow themselves to take that loss, to be beaten. But you know what? It never justifies a murder.
He's shot a little altercation, and that's really it. But he has a good heart. Everyone knows. Everyone around here knows he's a great kid. He just one mistake from that dude, and just took my brother.
Why he do this?
He didn't deserve it. No one deserves a loss from a family like that. I know people that
think it's that
do
deep
this all the time.
I don't
but I
think.
just didn't know it's gonna be mine so soon. I'm not best friend with my brother my whole life, but
there was this kid before I knew his name. Now this kid was sitting under our tent at track.
He's under that
I
tent.
asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." And he's like, "Make me move." Austin grabbed his backpack. This kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I look at my brother, and then I'm not going to talk about the rest. So just that's just what I saw. And I tried to help him, but
It was just sensitive.
So, hearing his brother tell you about the crime, speaking on it step by step, presumption of innocence in this guy's case, but that anger that you feel, that disappointment in humanity, that lack of understanding of how people can justify this, that is what people feel in other cases, that believe that nothing justifies what happened to the victim. So if you're seeing this or you're hearing this tonight and you understand how everybody's reacting to this, this is the reaction that we have towards other cases.
Senseless.
it was really senseless. Really, I don't know why a person would do that to someone just over that little argument. It's just crazy in this world nowadays how people just up and do that. Like that man has a family. That man has people that care about them all the time, and he did everything for our family too. He was a strong man. He was a strong kid.
They really don't have a positive example. We could try to reach out to youth, and we do on a daily. We try to teach people manners. We try to teach them communication. We try to teach them de-escalation. We try to teach them anger management. We try to teach them every coping skill that they don't get. And at the end of these classes, sometimes you ask them, well, are you going to continue doing what you're doing? Are you going to change? Most of the time you get, no, I'm happy with how I am. So it's not a culture thing. It's a heart thing. A lot of times these kids' hearts, they don't have them anymore.
I was strong.
All right, guys. Hey, y'all took in everything. I mean, I can't say anything else about this.
Nah, this is crazy, bro. Because running track,
I'm not gonna lie. If that family is racist, I wouldn't be surprised. If they treat all people like look like him a certain way.
At the all content, I mean, there's some good brothers out there like us.
For sure,
great brothers. But if somebody is being judgmental to someone, they have all rights to be. They have all rights to be. If a brother walk around with hair like that, I'm gonna be real.
Your brother got hair like that.
Hey, and he know.
Yeah, I know.
He felt like he got a little judge today, and he said, "Good police work." Ain't nothing funny right now, bro. Like it's real, bro. It is real, bro. No, I wouldn't even put my hair like that no more after this shit, bro. Like I look, even if I did, I know I could possibly get judged off shit like that.
Yeah.
You feel me?
You want to know why you get judged off shit like that? You want to know why you get judged off shit like that? Because people like him exist.
And
that is my biggest gripe.
And it's not even, this is a crazy situation on the bad black people side of stuff, but it's bad white people. It's weirdo white kids that we judge. He might be a school shooter. You're gonna get judged regardless.
This shit pisses me off.
Everybody's gonna get judged.
Yeah, everybody's gonna get judged.
And it's gonna be people that F with you. If they gravitate towards you, you just got it. It is what it is. Bro.
But this,
all that's
crazy.
Great, but this right here,
that's crazy. This
is a different level.
Shit
Like
pisses me off.
but innocent lives,
shit
like
pisses me off.
At a school
event, you bring a knife.
Yeah, that's
hey,
crazy.
bro, life needs to be over. I'm sorry. That's my final verdict.
Sure.
His life needs to be
done.
No,
they might need to Do more than that.
If he don't get life, he need 50 years.
Hey,
Why you got a knife at a track meet, bro?
Hey guys, I have nothing else to say because I have actually nothing good to say. God bless that family, man. I mean, there's really nothing we could do to just make this better. This is absolutely insane, and unfortunately, stuff does happen like this. I mean,
Stuff like this doesn't happen.
I think I saw
This is a freak incident.
It is a freak incident.
Well,
this is freaky.
Well,
I've been to 1,000 track meets.
no, this
I've
is
never
definitely
seen
a weird
this happen.
incident. But stuff like this happens.
That's by us right there. That's in that age.
This happens.
Get this off my screen, man. I don't
Yeah.
look at these people.
Why is John Moran down there? But anyways, man, maybe that was a troll. But hey, man, I mean, yeah, this definitely is a freak accident. But you know, hey, man, hey, we seen in Chicago. I mean, like weird stuff happens like this all the time. The lady in Chicago got shot while strolling her baby. A person that came to visit Chicago got shot in the arm. A mother.
Bro, this type of behavior needs to be
by
condemned.
the Black Teen Summer in Chicago.
This type of behavior, these type of people, these type of characters, all these people need to be cast out from society and condemned. Every single last one of them.
R.I.P. Austin, man. This shit's absolutely insane. I ain't gonna say nothing too crazy, man.
I done said what I need to say, bro.
Hey, yeah, I'm just be quiet.
I done said all I need
hey,
to
if
say.
you got the haircut, they
All
might.
right, bro.
I'm sorry.
Stop.
If I went to that high
Stop.
school, you can't walk back through the school with the haircut, brother. If you're black, shave that shit off. Oh God, I can keep going hard, but I ain't gonna go hard. I ain't gonna go hard. Oh God, you better not have hair in here, bro.
Wow.
I might beat up a bad nigga with hair if I'm the brother.
Tripping.
I see your homie, anybody dude follow, I follow him.
I ain't gonna lie. We talking about.
Don't be that hateful.
We talking
bro.
about.
Don't
We
be
talking
that
about.
hateful.
And another
Don't be
thing.
that hateful.
And another
bro.
thing.
Stop being too
listen,
hateful.
Two
bro.
listen.
Stop being
Two
hateful,
lives
bro.
have just ended
I'm
right
sorry,
here.
guys. I'm sorry.
Two lives have just ended, and everyone else's life is affected forever because of his stupid actions. Shit pisses me off. His brother's life is affected forever. His life has changed forever.
All right, guys.
Shit's stupid.
And you know, that's so true. Everything they just said, they didn't hold back. Let's see what the individual from Cinema Shogun had to say. I've watched this individual for a while. You go give him a sub and a like. If you like what he's about to say, check out his channel. He has interesting views on certain things. And here we go.
Watching the mainstream news today, chances are you did not hear about Austin Metcalf, a 17-year-old that had such a bright future ahead of him, an exceptional student, but an even better football player that was tragically murdered at a track meet by a low impulse control thug that most likely was raised by horrible parents. Now, the reason this story is not getting more media coverage is because Austin Metcalf looks like this. And the boy who killed him, well, I don't even have to show you a picture of him. You could probably guess what he looks like. One of the usual suspects, which is why the mainstream media is not really covering this story, because the story does not align with the narrative that the mainstream media has been pushing for years. The narrative that they're now pushing on Netflix with the new show Adolescence, where they pretend like young white kids are the number one threat, when we all know who is really carrying out most of the violent crimes in cities across America.
And he's right. I mean, 13% as a race, 50% of all violent crimes are committed by this race. And you're right, I agree. We can't jump to blaming the parents sometimes, but not all the time. You're right on that. I mean, a lot of these kids are being raised by grandparents, though, or absent parents, or parents that have to work a lot of jobs in order to make things happen at the household. I mean, a lot of times these individuals are being led by older brothers, cousins, uncles, whoever, as examples, instead of being led by the family traditional values and the nuclear family that assists in trying to raise these children in a better environment.
And yes, even in the UK, spoiler alert, it's not little white kids. But that's the narrative that they like to run with. And sure, I would like to be able to cover these stories without mentioning race at all. But that's not how the mainstream media operates. Because if this story was the other way around, it would be making every headline. It would be on every newspaper. Every media outlet would be covering it. And the first thing they would acknowledge is race. So what we cannot do is simply ignore the racial aspect to this story.
I just wish that whenever we cover certain things, that we take out the race part of it and focus on the person. Because then you get a particular person being the stereotype for the whole genre. And there's good people in all races, shapes, forms, fashions. I know people that are of color or, of Asian descent or, indigenous that have never committed crime one, that are good, hardworking people, and so on and so on. But stuff like this happens, and all of a sudden the stereotype speaks for the whole genre. And that's what's so sad about crimes, mainstream media. I wish they would just report it as you can't give the kids names, so you could give the high school that they were from without giving the name and still report it equally without using race. I'm tired of seeing black and white, Latino, Asian. It's if that's the only way we describe people is by their ethnicity, come on, get real.
Because if you have eyes, if you have ears, if you pay attention to the news, then you know that there is a recurring pattern of violence within a certain culture. Violence that unfortunately claimed the life of Austin Metcalf. We could try to sit here and shy away from that. We could sit here and shy away from the conversation that needs to be had, but that isn't helping anyone. The only thing that's going to do is result in more Austin Metcalf-like stories where you hear of other young white kids getting murdered and getting killed as the stories get brushed under the rug by the mainstream media. But the saddest part about this story for me is that Austin Metcalf had a twin brother, and he died in his twin brother's arms over a simple altercation or argument about seating or something stupid. Okay? Austin Metcalf was stabbed in the chest at a school track meet over something as stupid as, oh, you're sitting in the wrong place or you're sitting in the wrong place. But like I said, low impulse control. But before I go even further, let's go ahead and roll this news clip. Let's learn a little bit more about what happened here. And then I'll be right back with more thoughts.
The sad part about it is he died in his brother's arms. They were twins, identical twins. And his brother was holding on to him, trying to make it stop bleeding. And he died in his brother's arms. And I rushed up there, and I saw him on the gurney. And I could tell. They said he wasn't breathing. I could see all the blood. I saw where the wound was.
Understandably still in shock, Jeff Metcalf says a precious memory was made just this past weekend when he took his twin boys hunting. That's where Austin got his first hog. Well, this morning at around 10, he rushed here to Kirkendall Stadium where the Memorial High School student athlete suffered a fatal stab wound during this track and field meet. Frisco police say a fight broke out between two students when one stabbed the other. More than 100 student athletes were participating in this meet. Fortunately, they were safely evacuated. Police arrested the suspect. He is 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony of Frisco. He is now charged with murder. Some students, unfortunately, witnessed this deadly encounter and have been interviewed by police. Despite life-saving efforts, the 16-year-old victim died at the hospital. Austin, his father shares, was born 2 minutes before his twin brother Hunter, the two inseparable, as you can imagine.
I need to change the headline and put 16. The other boy was 17. Austin was 16. But can you imagine just going to a track meet, waking up that day, going to the track meet, and not expecting this to happen? Who would expect to send their kids, their grandkids to school, and their kids never come home? And this is for all areas, not just this. It's for all areas, for school shootings, all of it. It has to stop. Enough is enough. I mean, it has to stop. But how do we get there? Lip service isn't going to do it. Threatening, locking them up, throwing away the key is not going to do it. We have to unite and find a way to do better, whatever doing better means, in order to get these individuals to understand that life is precious. Precious, more precious than taking it.
Austin is being remembered as an outstanding student at Memorial High, his football team's MVP, and a young man of faith. His father grappling with loss and forgiveness.
I'm not trying to judge, but what kind of parents did this child have? What was he taught? He brought a knife to a track meet and he murdered my son by stabbing him in the heart. The guy was in the wrong place. They asked him to move and he bowed up. This is murder. I don't know. I know they have someone in custody.
Yeah, we do.
And you know what? I already forgive this person. Already. God takes care of things. God's going to take care of me. God's going to take care of my family.
The victim's father says these two teens did not know each other before today. We do need to stress that police have not said what they believe led up to this deadly encounter. There is a prayer vigil tonight at 7 p.m. at Hope Fellowship Church right here.
My son watched his brother die in his arms.
17-year-old Austin Metcalf was voted MVP of the Frisco Memorial High School varsity football team. The linebacker held a near-perfect GPA and was...
Okay, she just said 17, but then it said 16. Which one is it?
...in the National Honor Society.
He was on the right track. He was doing everything right. I was so proud.
Jeff Metcalf never imagined that his son's future would be cut short.
I'm still in shock.
Wednesday morning, Austin Metcalf was at a District 11 5A track meet at Kirkendall Stadium. Around 10 a.m., Frisco police say 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony stabbed Metcalf in the chest after some sort of fight. Jeff Metcalf says it was Austin's twin brother, Hunter Metcalf, who tried to save him.
And his brother was holding him, trying to hold the blood in, and he passed my son. Watched his brother die in his arms.
It's unclear how Anthony got the knife into the meat or what exactly led up to the fight. Anthony is now facing first-degree murder charges, and Jeff Metcalf
It was the best weekend ever.
Is only left with memories.
I was able to watch and be blessed so much. But having both my sons are amazing.
When Jeff Metcalf was diagnosed with cancer 9 years ago,
You know, I believe that a lot that needs to change is the dress codes in these schools. You know, the fact that all these kids wear hoodies, they wear these hoodies year round, they have these hoodies up whenever you're trying to talk to them, that these haircuts that have gotten way out of control. I mean, you can wear hairdos, you can color your hair, you can, wear all kinds of stuff that just does not even resemble a responsible campus. Does that mean that I'm old because I'm speaking this way? It possibly does. Because I remember wanting to be an individual in high school myself. But I see exactly why the educators were trying so hard to keep it a classy environment rather than letting it just run rampant. Because you know what? That shows that there are no rules, there is no guidelines, there are no repercussions. and the schools are being ran by the students. You know, in my opinion, these schools need to take charge of their campuses. If they don't want to adhere to the dress code, then they don't go to school. But then there lies the problem. If you don't have these kids in school, then you don't get money for funding. So is murder and school shootings and all this other stuff worth one student's life if you know that there's students in your school that don't belong there and they're not there for anything good?
His boys were his strength. Now kids are free. It's his faith that's keeping him strong.
And when I kissed his forehead today, as his body was cold, I ran my fingers through his hair. I told him it's not goodbye. It's see you later. I'll join you at some point too, son. You just beat me to this place.
Wednesday night, the family's church opened its doors for the community to gather for a prayer vigil to honor a young man whose life touched so many.
But I know he's with the Lord. And I take comfort and peace in that.
In our conversation, Jeff mentioned that he hopes his son's death brings changes to security so no other parent has to go through this. Memorial High School will honor Austin tomorrow during second period, and counselors will be available for any students or staff who need it.
I am sick and tired of seeing stories like this one every day. And when I say every day, that is not a figure of speech. No, I literally mean every single day. I come across multiple stories like this one every single day. And I feel a rant coming on. So before I even get into that rant, people often ask me, how can they support the channel? The answer to that question is simple. Hit that like button. It's totally free. It takes 1 second. Hit that like button right now. Drop a comment in the comment section and join the conversation.
That's awesome, Leslie, that you go and sit at your kid's school. That's awesome. More parents should be involved like that. I understand that we all need to work. I get it. But there's individuals that don't work that are on these computers all day long, nonstop, that could be monitoring these kids. But they always want to push it off on somebody else. You know, we have so many calls a day, or even parents coming out wanting us to lock their kids up to show them a lesson. Locking kids up who are barely at the beginning stages of delinquency or defiance or this or that and the other, and it hasn't been dealt with at any point in time, by the time they're teenagers, locking them up is not going to change that. It's not going to instantly derail them and make them think, okay, I lost my freedom, so therefore I need to change what I'm doing. Because we've had kids that have been locked up for months and almost years. They came out and did the same thing within a month time. It creates more criminals, better criminals, just like the adult system does. Am I saying this for every one of them? No. There have been some exceptions to the rule, just like with everything else. But what I'm telling you is one size does not fit all. I believe that there's a lot that goes into this, whether it be social media, whether it be music, whether it be even video games. I mean, let's be honest. There's a lot of things that are catered to younger audiences that have no business being catered to these audiences. But nothing's going to change if you don't step up and be the voice that you need to be for your family. Don't let other people have to be that voice. Don't make it somebody else's job to raise your child.
That helps the channel out a lot. But if you want to take the support one step further, you could always drop a super thanks or send a cash app. It's always greatly appreciated. But let me go ahead and get into this rant because, like I said, I am so sick and tired of seeing stories like this every day. If you're on social media, if you're on the internet, then you see this stuff every single day. For how long are we going to sit here and be okay with our kids being stabbed, being jumped, being robbed? Because you could go online, you could see dozens and dozens of new videos every day. Oh, there goes a white kid getting jumped at the bus stop. There goes an old Asian lady getting punched and robbed after she gets off the subway. Oh, there goes an Indian man getting punched and robbed at the gas station. You know, it's just so much. But no one wants to acknowledge the elephant in the room, which is that there is one group of people who is committing the majority of these crimes. And that doesn't mean that every person in this group is a bad person, because that's not the case at all. But if we're going to sit here and shy away from the problem, then the problem can never be nipped in the bud. Okay? This problem with violence in the Black community, it does not just affect white people. It doesn't just affect Spanish people. It doesn't just affect Indian or Asian or whatever. It also affects Black people, because they're killing each other at alarming rates. Do you know how many Black men I went to school with growing up that are no longer here? Like, literally, the majority of people I went to school with growing up are all dead, because they've all been shot and killed. Or the ones who are alive, they've been shot multiple times and they're lucky to be here. There is a problem with violence in this community. And if you acknowledge it, oh, you're racist or you're a bad person. No, you're just acknowledging reality. And the reality is that I'm getting sick and tired, and you should be as well, of seeing stories like this one. How many young kids with a bright future ahead of them need to get stabbed in the chest at track meets before people acknowledge the elephant in the room, before people start calling out the problem?
I like that comment. You know, you do work in the school, so you see it firsthand as well. And I'm sure you ask yourself, what can we do to change the culture? And I'm sure there's times where you leave and you're shaking your head like, do I want to do this anymore? Is it even worth the struggle? Socioeconomic issue, just like the school problems. But you know, we've been saying that for a lot of years. But how many people are raised in those same environments and make it out and become successful? How many doctors, how many lawyers, how many, welders or plumbers or whatever, how many people actually make it out? But for everyone that does, there's probably 20 that don't, that would rather believe in the inequality of life and go with that narrative and push that all police are bad, the government's out to get you, and so on and so on and so on, to give yourself permission to run rampant in these streets and do chaos and havoc to people, because your mind is on fight or flight all the time. You believe that people are out to get you. I have talked to so many kids recently, and I asked them, why are guns so prevalent in these schools? Because they're afraid that somebody's going to shoot them. Walking home, they're going to get shot at, or somebody's going to jump them. And they believe that by having a weapon, they can claim self-defense and not be murdered. But they don't understand they premeditated this by carrying the weapon. And it will never be self-defense in that aspect. So what do y'all think? I like y'all's comments. Keep them coming. I like this guy's energy.
We could fix this problem. And I think there could be some simple fixes to this problem. For one, the nuclear family. When we got rid of the nuclear family, when we got fathers out of the household, that did not work out well. And we're seeing the results of that. And there's conversations that we could get into, about how to fix and tackle some of these problems. But I don't think we could really start talking about the solution yet because most people don't want to acknowledge the problem yet. And that's why we're here all the time talking about stories like this one. And I say all the time, most of the time, I just go right past these stories. I scroll right past a lot of these stories because I think a lot of us here in America, I don't know about other places, but I think abroad as well, we've been conditioned to just accept this behavior. Oh, another massive fight at the mall, people shooting at the mall. Well, okay, whatever. Oh, a favorite bar got shut down because they're shooting at the bar. Massive riots here. It's like we've grown to just accept this behavior instead of pointing out the behavior and acknowledging that it's wrong, which is why so many people are just like, act like it's no big deal. Just another white kid murdered for no reason. And it's really sad to see because, of course, people will always say, what if the shoe was on the other foot? If this was the other way around, there would be rioting, there would be protests, there would be all of this. I am tired of, what if it was the other way around? Every time I see that, it just makes me disgusted. I am tired of, what if it was the other way around? What if? Yeah, we know what it would be like if it was the other way around. I'm tired of just acknowledging that. What if it was the other way around? Let's actually talk about the problem. Instead of saying, what if it was the other way around? Maybe you should make more of an uproar about what is happening to young kids, and not just young kids, to everyone in this country. And when I say
I can only speak for the schools here in Texas, only because I live here. And it seems to me like no matter what grade you hear about, the most important thing is passing a test at the end of the year. So I don't know what they do the rest of the year. We used to have to take the same type of test, but the rest of the year we were also being taught different life skills were being taught, social sciences were being taught, math, we were being taught history, we were being taught all this. So the test at the end of the year wasn't really that big of a deal. But I think these days, that's the total focus is that test. So who cares if the kid can read? Who cares if the kid can write? Who cares if the kid falls asleep in class? Who cares if the kid even comes to school? As long as we get him here and he's present past lunch, we can count him and get our money. We can, we got to push for most of them to pass. If not, then we're going to push them a different direction. If they're a problem, we're going to send them to the alternative school. At least they'll still be doing work and we can still count them to get our money. How did it get there? And I'm not blaming the school teachers. I'm not blaming any of them like that. Our school districts, our legislatures, all these things that are being pushed. Because let's be honest, not every kid that goes to school is going to be a school type success. Some kids are just not meant to be successful academically. They're not. No matter how much you push, no matter how much tutoring you give them, no matter how much incentives, there are just some kids that are not going to grasp the intellectual part of learning. I mean, and that's the sad part. But let's say those kids are great at athletics. Then you're going to make sure that that kid passes, right? And then we get to what we have here today. A lot of times they do have 4.0s, but they don't have any kind of common sense when it comes to not bringing a knife to a track meet, to not attacking somebody else just because he asked you to move. That's a heart problem.
Everyone, I quite literally mean everyone in this country. You think that Black people don't see these issues? They experience these issues firsthand more than anyone else. The problem is, just like everyone else is kind of scared to point out the issue, Black people are kind of in the same position Because if they acknowledge the problems with within their own community, like the problems with violence and killing each other and stuff like that, if they acknowledge those issues, they will be shunned. They will be excommunicated. They will be labeled a coon that is tap dancing for the white man and stuff like that. So understand that there are large numbers of the Black community that are calling this stuff out as well, or at least they try to before they get shut down. And I think that all of us of all races, we need to stop shying away from this conversation, because it's not doing anyone any favors to shy away from this conversation. I'm at the point now in my life where I don't care what other people think. I don't care what other people feel. People are going to think and feel all types of things about this video. All I care about is reality and acknowledging reality. I did not create this reality. You didn't create this reality. But we can at least acknowledge what's happening here. Listen, if it was a group of squirrels that were causing most of the violent crimes in America, I would say, hey, squirrels have a problem with violence in their community. Now, we know it's not squirrels. We know who it is. But you guys get what I'm saying here. It's not like I'm pointing, a certain group of...
I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. At this point, it's beyond skin color. It's beyond economic depravity. It's a heart and mind thing. For whatever reason, there's a belief system that it's the survival of the fittest. There's something out there that is going to hurt me, so I better get them before they get me. And that's not reality. That is not reality. If that's the reality, whoever it might be, we got to get to the bottom of that problem. What is it? The drugs they're on? Are they selling drugs? Are they doing illegal things? Because the only way that I could see that somebody was going to hurt you is if you're trying to impede on them making money. But in this aspect, this kid was a good kid, obviously. Just stabbed him, and then he just ruined his life forever. The other kid had a promising future. And for what he lost his life? No reason.
Of people out because I have ill will in my heart against them. It's actually the exact opposite. But at the same time, I'm not going to ignore reality simply to protect people's feelings. Okay? Do you think that Carmelo Anthony, not the basketball player, but the young murderer who killed Austin Metcalf, do you think Carmelo was worried about people's feelings when he plunged a cold blade into Austin Metcalf's heart? Do you think he cared about people's feelings? Do you think these people are going to care about your grandma's feelings when they're beating her over the head and stealing her purse? No. So the time for being sensitive and stuff like that, that time has long passed. And if you're someone who's still on that vibe, then go ahead and take it somewhere else. Because I'm about finding solutions to this problem, but first acknowledging the problem. Because if we can't acknowledge the issue, we cannot get anywhere at all.
I totally agree, bro. I totally agree. We can't acknowledge that there is a problem out there, and we want to whisper about the problem. We want to make excuses about the problem, but we're not talking about solutions, and we're only using the restorative path. It's not working. Something else needs to happen because these kids aren't scared of the restorative path. They break the law. Okay, well, I got to go do this. I got to go do that. That's no big deal. I'll get off and, I'll go reoffend. I'm okay until I become an adult. Are we really doing justice to these individuals? Because we try hard. I'm not saying that we don't try hard, because we try hard at our agency. We really do. We go above and beyond a lot of time. But what I see is these kids don't want it. And if they don't want it, you can't beat them over the head with it.
And I already see people online saying, don't make it a race thing. Don't make it a race thing. I'm not making it a race thing. I don't think other people are making it a race thing by acknowledging reality. And the reality is, I can guarantee you that Carmelo Anthony's family, they're going to play the race card. Give it a couple of days. Carmelo Anthony's friends are already online, taunting people who went to Austin's school, making fun of the fact that Austin is dead. So, you know, it's to be expected. It's a part of their culture to make fun of young men when they get murdered and talk about how they're smoking them in packs and all this other weird stuff. If you know, you know. But the race card is going to be pulled. I can tell you right now, Carmelo Anthony's family, they're about 2 days out from pretending to be victims themselves. Oh my God, we've gotten so much hate. And oh my God, our kid was this. I'm surprised that we even saw a picture of Carmelo and how he looks now. Usually they'll show you like a 5th grade graduation picture. So I'm surprised that we even get to see what Carmelo actually looks like. But look, I could rant all day about this. I already know I'm going to make more videos about this story in the future. But for now, I think that you could sum up this story by simply looking at the last social media post of these two individuals. For one, we have the last social media post of the killer. And then we have the last social media post of Austin Metcalf. Faith that God got me, and my work will pay off. So all in all, when you look at this story and you really want to sum things up, you look no further than the last social media post.
It really does. It paints that picture that should show you the dexterity between both individuals. And, you know, people are going to be free to believe as they wish. And I just hope that, you know, in time we start to make a change. Because our youth are suffering. We can't make these campuses prisons because it's been studied. If you confine people, if you install metal detectors, you install fences, you install locks, you do all this stuff, you're basically imprisoning somebody who isn't even violent. But if you take those away, then what are you going to do when people start shooting up the schools again? It's a hard question. It's a hard question. I hope that we find the answer to it soon. Thank you so much for being here, guys. The last one of the night. Hopefully see you soon. Maestro, cue that music.